Well, I feel you asked the question, and this part sort of got lost in my rambly answer, as happens. Um, how it is in LA. And the reality is that I was already doing this basically. I mean, I did go out to the grocery store a time or two back before everybody freaked out.
Stocking up?
Um, Stocking up, but not again. I didn't even buy toilet paper. I bought one roll of paper towels. I had one box of tissues. I'm like, I got three rolls of toilet paper at home. I'm fine. I mean, I wasn't hoarding for like a lockdown. I was just, let me go ahead and get a few things.
I'll bet bidet sales
So
are through the roof right now. People are probably looking seriously at the bidet.
yeah, I've seen people posting. I mean, it's got a whole meme. Even somebody clever. Here's my country bidet, and they got a garden hose coming in, and then they got it wedged under the toilet seat.
There you go.
You
Well, what
know,
does
it's
it
like,
look
well, how do
like
you, how
in
do you how
LA?
do you reach the handle? Yeah. So
LA proper. I mean, what
yeah.
the government response? I actually don't know what the picture is.
Okay.
Here they're not
So
shutting it down. They're not enforcing. There's no enforcement. It's all just encouragement, and it's not working.
it's so it's official and it's happening, and there have been some places that have been slow. So let me give you perspective. So to my right shoulder, this window, this sliding door,
The Stanley
Runyon
Steamer.
Canyon Park. Runyon Canyon. Well, he was that way. I think he's gone. Runyon Canyon Park is like behind my right shoulder. I'm
Okay.
at the gate of that. These apartments, if people know Los Angeles, Runyon Canyon and Griffith Park are the two big parks that most people kind of hang out in. And Runyon Canyon's the one that's in Hollywood. It's right at the line of Hollywood,
Mm.
West Hollywood. Super popular. The top end of it dead ends at Mulholland Drive, which is a famous drive, even if you don't live in LA or know it. So super
David Lynch
popular.
movie.
And yeah, David Lynch movie. And he lives off of Outpost Drive, which is 3 blocks that way, and then he lives about half a mile up.
Okay.
That's my old neighborhood, so I sort of know where he lives. I lived in an apartment, and then of course he's on a nice big piece of land, I guess. But so to get into Runyon Park, to get in or out of Runyon Canyon Park, there's like a drive-up gate that's closed. That's just for when they have park officials driving up to do maintenance, because they got some stuff up there, like substations, power substations, that's off the beaten path. But for pedestrians who want to go hike, there is this gate, and it's wide enough that two people could go through it, passing each other if they sort of skinny up a little bit, if they sort of adjust and face each other a little. Point is, it's narrow.
Mm.
And last week, when this first went out, the recommendations on how to deal with this, I sort of thought, okay, well, that'll be interesting to see when they shut this down, because obviously they're going to shut this down,
You
because
mean shut the whole
it's
park
like,
down? Shut the whole park
yeah,
down.
because there are always so many people, and so they mandated social distancing, they mandated stay at home if you basically stay at home if you don't need to go, like suggested quarantine. Now
Yeah.
it's official. It's
What does that
official,
mean though?
official.
Because
So,
yeah.
well, it means that you can go out, and the list of exceptions is broad enough that a lot of people aren't going to be inconvenienced. So, other than retail shopping or eating in restaurants or going or hanging out in bars or malls, you can go to the grocery store, the pharmacy, the banks, the doctor, of course. Any kind of medical thing. You can go out like to walk your dog, but it's like one person, one dog, or whatever dogs I guess but it's like one person. You can't go out in groups. But so what I'm trying to say is that at Runyon Canyon Park over here, over my shoulder, I typically, and I tend to be up late and I sleep late because of my weird schedule. I'm dealing with people in other countries, and so I'm kind of just on my own time. So early in the morning, I'm usually sort of halfway wakened up by the early birds, who are like bumping the music, they're rocking out, or there's like a yoga class they do at 7 a.m.
In
or
the
8
park?
a.m. in the park. And look, that stuff's all awesome. If you
Can people
normally
say I need to do
two
yoga?
thumbs
I
up.
need to play pickup basketball? That's not
Well,
one of the things,
that's
is
what
it?
those are not on the list of
No,
approved
they're not on the
quarantine
list.
activities. No,
I
it's
must
kind of the
play
opposite.
pickup basketball.
So a week ago Saturday, there was this announcement that it was going to be, excuse me, just this last Saturday, I take it back, was when it was announced that we were going to go to the stay at home. They quit saying shelter in place because that's actually the active shooter language, but initially they were calling it
They've
that
used pause
some
here.
places.
Pause is what they use.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so Saturday the word went out that it was going to go into effect, I think Sunday night at midnight. And then Sunday, I was awakened really early. And if you're middle-aged or named Karen or a churchgoer or on a church bus, I'm not trying to trigger you, but I heard
My
all
name's
this
Karen.
commotion. Okay, well, we'll get to that. Well, you can tell me how much you resemble this remark. So I hear all this noise, and there's always kind of like low background noise, and there's a fan here, so it's normally tuned out. There's a lot of noise. I heard a lot of sort of very excited and loud, what I looked out the window and was confirmed to be a bunch of kind of like, like middle-aged ladies, with kind of the asymmetrical haircuts and everything.
Nice detail.
With a ton of kids and a big church bus. Jeez. Yeah. They probably had the live, love, laugh like framed in their kitchen. So a bunch of middle-aged Karens and the church bus full of little kids. And what do little kids do? They're piling all over each other. They can't keep their hands from like touching, grabbing, punching, hugging, sharing things. And so gaggle of kids, I'm guessing about 30, and it was from some church. And
that's okay.
Like,
then. I guess doesn't Jesus keep that away off the kids?
Yeah. I wish I had a funny joke, but no. I know that's rhetorical, but no, in my opinion. My God assumes you're smart enough to do your part and pay attention.
Yeah.
So anyway, bunch of them and just all crowded together and running around grabbing and like passing out, like some of the Karens were passing out, bottles of water and like some kind of snack. I can see that far. I don't have, laser vision, but they were handing out bottles of water.
Yeah, geez.
Sure, share the bottle of water. Susie runs out, then Billy can have some of yours. You can have some of his. So that plus we're talking about, is the stand. If you know the stand, the basically the prophet of doom, the Randall Flagg, the walking man, like this big kind of cowboy guy, very mysterious. I sort of think Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with a cowboy hat, sort of a Randall Flagg look. I mean, he's like charismatic and pleasant looking, and he's the prophet of doom basically. And I saw a few cowboys walking in and out of the park, but I mean, West Hollywood is right next door. So, I think I saw half the village people as well as the Karens and is
that a Hollywood term? Because I'm not familiar with the Karen. I understand exactly what you mean when you say it, but
it's
your term?
It's an internet meme term.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Whenever one of the memes that a friend of mine posted, and yes, I'm a grown man who looks at memes because they're there, and some of them are funny and clever.
Memes are great.
And it was a cartoon that showed like, it was a cartoon of a news anchor with like all the, on the set with all the screens and the cameras. He said, "Next, we'll be hearing from leading COVID-19 expert Karen from Facebook."
Isn't that the CFO of Facebook? Isn't her name Karen?
It was Sherilyn Sandberg, the lean in lady. Yeah. So no offense to, I have several friends named Karen, and they both hate that their name has been slightly memeified, and then some of them taken good strides. So yeah, so a ton of people, the opposite of social distancing. So in terms of LA, so that was Sunday. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, well, maybe everybody's getting their last hurrah in before this thing goes down.
Not that long ago, though. That's very recent.
Today's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday we're recording. I'm talking this last Sunday was the boatload of kids and Karens. And
so why are the police not on that? Why are they not?
Well, so okay, I'll get there really quick. So Monday, so I thought, well, maybe Monday it'll be lighter. So Monday, about the same amount of people, and Tuesday, yesterday, pretty much the same amount of people, and
Yoga the
just
works.
constant all day, all day, all day. I think the yoga classes are only on the weekends,
No,
but
no, no decrease in people walking in and out of the park. Everybody's
an
going about
increase,
their
yeah,
business.
because normally during a weekday when things are, when we're not in a pandemic mode, I mean, some people work, this is Hollywood. There are a lot of people who work from home, or they work on call. If they're working or they're not. If they're not working, they're available 7 days a week. So a lot of people get their walk, or that's where they walk their dog. That's like a thing. And so
Masks.
yesterday, again, ton and ton of people. I've seen
Hmm.
almost no masks at all, which was horrifying. And the handful I did see, I saw a few on a couple of what I will generically say were like white ladies, kind of older ladies, and I was
Hmm.
happy to see that. There
Karens.
was a lady. There was a lady who probably, yeah. There was a. Well, this lady was cool. She had her act together. She's wearing a mask, so I won't give her
So
a
if
Karen
you're
status.
cool, you can't be
But
a Karen. That's the
no,
meme.
no. Now
Okay.
Karen is the sideways haircut and the live love laugh poster and
Church
always
going.
the loud mouth. It's the loud mouth who always has advice and an opinion and usually
Yeah.
doesn't know what she's talking
Doesn't
about.
like when the neighbor kids
That's
start
Karen.
saying the curse words.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think I
And
know a few Karens.
there's sort of a male equivalent of this that I'm blanking on now. But so I thought this is ridiculous. So again, there was like sort of a tall. There's like a Western like white type lady, and then her mom clearly, who was an older lady. I'm guessing 70s, 80s, and they were going for a walk, moving
Mm.
slow. Grandma was wasn't moving that fast, but they were masked, and grandma also had on like some winter type gloves. And so they were, and I saw a few people who objectively I could tell they were Asian. But I'm talking like I've been here 2 weeks now at this apartment, and I've maybe seen, I don't know, 10 people with
Mm.
masks the whole time.
So
The
what is
whole time.
behind
And
that?
I've seen thousands of people going in and out of the park.
What's
So
behind that?
maybe 10
So, I mean, is this so? So I think there are a couple different ways to approach it. Are we looking at something that is being poorly communicated to the public? Are we looking at a cultural phenomenon of maybe not getting it, or some sort of rebelliousness? Are we looking at a lack of maybe control on the government's end, a lack of an ability to lock it down, or a lack of cojones of the government to lock it down? What is it more of, or is it a mix of those things?
I think it's a mix. I think you hit on it that it's a multi-factor situation. What I had said about that we're not psychologically or logistically equipped to handle it, that's, because freedom got a ring, not going to cage me in, bro, that kind of mentality. But the logistics part, we've seen that fail. Um,
Could you talk a
it
little
is,
bit more about that, though?
it,
What do you mean by
well,
that? The
well, what?
freedom thing. Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
You're not, you ain't gonna tell me what to do. I'm an
Mm.
American, not an Americant. You're not gonna tell me I can't go out to the store or can't go to the park or can't do this or that. And I'm adopting the hillbilly voice because that's the level of evolutionary development where that kind of thinking is coming from. So that thinking is
I
expressed in a
accept
lot
it.
of voices. Thank you. So the why is it is freaking gorgeous. I've got these blinds are closed, and if people can, I mean, you put this out as audio, I guess, as well as video. If you're watching, you can see there's a ton of like nice, bright light coming in this window. It's gorgeous. You look out this window, ain't nobody sick out here. It looks
It
amazing.
doesn't look
So
like
so
yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
look
It's not bleak. It's not the
like
stand.
a cloud of death. It doesn't look
Yeah.
like the production designers for this stand have hit our block yet.
Yeah.
So
So you're saying
yeah,
that's
I
operating
think that
subconsciously. People are like, "Oh, well, it looks
sure,
sunny and nice
sure. It
outside, so
totally
it must
looks
be fine."
all clear. And
Hmm.
there's the young, invincible, healthy thing.
Yeah.
I would say I mean, I'm in LA, so you're asking about LA. I'm talking about LA. I saw it in Northern California when I was up there the weeks before this, where, you know, so here I think people just hadn't been taking it seriously. I want to say this before we get off the topic too much off this particular point, is that this morning I woke up and I got up a little earlier than normal, which for me meant around 9. And normally I'm sort of halfway awakened around 7 by noise and people going in and out or garbage trucks. So anyway, wake up and I turn off my little fan by the table. Normally it's off now, of course. And I'm like, wow, it's really quiet. It's really, really quiet. I go to the window and I see one park security lady,
Mm-hmm.
at the gate, and the door is closed, and there's some people up there talking to her, and there are people walking up the hill, and I see there's people walking down the hill, and so she's been up there sort of like saying, hey, it's closed now. So today, as we record, they finally closed Runyon.
So
This became a thing. I posted about it on Instagram. Other people were like, close Runyon Park now, because it's going to be like an epicenter of community spread here with all those
obviously,
thousands of
yeah.
people in and out, and then I don't know what the technical group for the name for a plural, a gaggle of bicycle police,
Sure.
a murder of bicycle police, or whatever the appropriate grouping is. If I think it was like 6 or 7. They were all guys, actually. The park officer was a female. Not that it matters, just saying.
Murder of bicycle
Uh,
police in a
the
school
the
of
guys on
Karens.
the guys on the bikes are like, I mean, the LA cops who like ride the bikes or whatever. I mean, these guys are like, they could compete, and I mean, these guys are hosses.
Yeah, I've
You
seen
know,
them.
they're
I
they're
know.
they're 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 like they're like designed in a lab or something. These
Yeah.
people are the most physically fit people. And anyway, so yeah, they were hanging out there. Um, they were hanging out there, and
Doing anything?
you know,
Stopping people? Telling people
well,
to go home?
they were gathering there, and they did tell some people they were clearly waiting on something to happen. And then what happened later, this before we got on the call, but later this morning here, was that I sort of heard like a police car with a speaker that's external. I couldn't really make out what they were saying, but I got the gist. Was there were a group of people who were heading up the street, and they were saying something like, sorry, people, the Runyon Park is closed. Please go home, social distance, don't be outside
Mm-hmm.
unless you have to. And so the bicycle police, they were meeting there. So the car that came were two guys who basically they've left now, but they were just kind of parked to be like and like facing down the hill with their lights, slowly rotating, sort of like getting people's attention.